Hey guys, what's happening? You are in for a big treat tonight. Dr. Tiff is out of town. I got the kitchen and we're gonna cook. So we're not gonna get into all that crazy healthy stuff. We're gonna make some good old-fashioned brownies today. So, as most of you know, I absolutely love to eat. And I love to eat in a way where I can get the most bang for my buck. And there is no better way than these bad boys right here. It is a no fudge brownie. I'll get into the macros here in a little bit, but let's just say this is an incredible brownie mix. We're going to make it relatively low carb, relatively low fat, and ooey gooey great. So I just want to kind of go through a little list here. Now, I don't necessarily follow the exact recipe. We kind of got our own recipe that we've made as we've gone along. If you just follow the recipe on the box, they're great, but they are a little bit dry. We found a way to make it even better. So no fudge brownies, you can find that in just about any grocery store. I think we found it in Kroger, Publix. You're gonna want some vanilla almond milk, unsweetened. We don't want the extra carbs. Once again, this is Oikos, Greek yogurt, and once again, that is a lower sugar, lower carb, a lot of protein. I'll go all the way around. And you got to have this Jif Whip. So that's a low-fat peanut butter option, and it's just awesome. It's just great. Protein powder of your choice. We have found this ISO 100 is a really good protein to cook with. I've tried to cook with a lot of different protein powders, and this one just seems to always do the best. Little spray, canola oil, vanilla extract, measuring cup, teaspoon, and one of these bad boys. All you're going to need is a spatula to get started. So I'm going to throw all this in a bucket, and I'll show you how to start making the brownies. So really simple stuff here. I'm just going to pull this bag out, dump it in a mixing bowl, and like I said, we're going to add about a quarter cup of this unsweetened almond milk, about a quarter cup. And we're going to add a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of moisture with that. This is our plain Greek yogurt. Once again, plain Greek yogurt. Now you could put in a sweeter, a vanilla flavor, a different flavor if you like, but once again, you're going to be getting the carbs with that. If you want to keep this relatively low carb, but still tasting great, plain. So dump that bad boy in there. All of it. Make sure you get it all over your fingers so you can lick that. And then, last but not least, a little bit of vanilla extract. We're going to put a teaspoon in there. These are going to be awesome. Set that off to the side. I'm going to spray an 8-inch pan because once again, I don't want to put lard in there. I don't want the fat. A little bit of spray so it doesn't stick to the sides. Let that sit there, and then I'm going to fold this together. So I'm just going to keep stirring until I get a good texture. I get all the lumps out. Then I'm going to pour it into this pan, smooth it out, put it in the oven. I got the oven on 350, and we're going to let that guy bake for about, I think, let's see, what's it say? I think it's 20 minutes. All right, I'm back. So I had to get my glasses. I couldn't see the instructions, and I couldn't remember how long we baked these for. 30 to 35 minutes. So it might take a little less depending on your oven. It might take a little bit more. I like to take them out before they bake too much. The last thing you want is a brownie that's lost its ooey gooiness. So let's just say 30 minutes in the oven. We're going to pop these bad boys in, and then I'm going to show you how to make your icing. All right, so we got the brownies in the oven. They're cooking. We're going to get to the best part of this, the icing. So I've got my Jif Whips out here, and I'm going to use 4 tablespoons. I've already got 2 in there. I'm going to put 4 tablespoons of whips in there, and just so we're on the same page, just because I'm using a tablespoon, that is actually not a tablespoon, all right? Just because you're using one doesn't mean that that actually is a tablespoon. And I know all the food journals that are coming in that say tablespoon of peanut butter, that's secretly what it really looks like, because that's how I usually do it. But what I'm going to do is use a spoon, and I'm going to scrape off everything that's around there. Now think about if you're using real peanut butter too. There's a lot of fat in peanut butter. Everybody thinks peanut butter is a protein. Well, there's protein in there, guys, but there's a lot of fat too, and you have to be aware of that. You can go over on fat grams a lot easier than you can go over on carbs. So make sure that when you're using this, use it right, scrape off all the residuals, and don't eat from that side either. That's not the idea. Scoop it out, use your spoon, scoop it all out, put it in a mixing bowl. All right, we got that. Now, I'm going to use 2 scoops of protein powder. Like I said, I think I mentioned, this is cookies and cream. It's brownies. Could make it taste great. I usually use vanilla protein powder to bake with, or I'll start in my oatmeal a lot of times. You'd be really surprised what you can do with baking with protein powder. So what I've got here is a 1/4 cup of that vanilla almond milk, and what I'm going to do is just pour a little bit, a little bit in there, and I'm going to start stirring in this mixing bowl, being really careful to not throw protein powder all over the place, until I get it all folded inside of that peanut butter. Use just a little bit. You can get crazy with it, and all of a sudden it'll just turn to straight water. We want this thick and gooey, ooey, gooey, great peanut butter. So I want it to look something like that. And then I'm going to put just a little bit more in. Just a little bit, guys. All right? And I'm going to save a little bit. Now, I'm going to get after it with this guy, and I'm going to go for about 2 or 3 minutes until I get the consistency I want, and I'll drizzle just a little bit more of that milk. You probably won't need that whole 1/4 cup. I'm going to give it 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, guys, the moment we've all been waiting for. There's the finished product. It is a work of art. That icing is probably some of the best that I've made. I don't always use that beater, and it made a tremendous difference. It's just awesome. So before I cut into this bad boy and taste it in front of you, let me go through the macros really quick. So with icing, so that's with the icing, this brownie is significantly lower calorie than a Betty Crocker version. So this has 1/8 of this brownie has 43 carbs, 3 fat grams, just 3, and 13 proteins. So pretty great. A Betty Crocker without any icing has 57 carbs, 15 fat. So this has 5 times less fat than the Betty Crocker version, and only 2 protein. So obviously we're getting a lot more bang for our buck. Yeah, it's got 43 carbs in it, but once again, this is a treat. So those of you who are really counting macros and are concerned, you know, about 43 carbs, yeah, it can add up. But maybe if you want this for a treat, you can think about how you can start saving those carbs during the day. Maybe save a little bit at breakfast, a little bit at lunch, a little bit at dinner. 43 carbs add up, and you get yourself this lovely little treat, which I have to try a bite of. Oh man, it's so good. It's so worth it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this. Try it out. Let me know what you think. Maybe you can come up with a different version, a different kind of icing. Who knows? But if you do, please share it with us. We'd love it. Hope you've enjoyed cooking with Stu. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I'm getting ready to thoroughly enjoy this. See you next time.